and welcome, my friends and fellow warriors of light, to Final Fantasy ASMR. In the previous chapters, we defeated Lich, the Fiend of Earth, Maralith, the Fiend of Fire, and in the last chapter, we rescued the mermaids from the Fiend of Water, Kraken. This leaves one more elemental fiend for the warriors of light to banish and slay. Please join me, Alakazam ASMR, as we continue this great adventure in Final Fantasy ASMR. Please enjoy, my friends, and let's load where we left off with Amano, Shenwu, Lucille, and Erebus. Let's go. So, last time we were here, we were in the village known as Onrak. Just enjoy a little bit of chill music at the moment. We went along here to the sunken shrine via this little barrel and a gift from the Fairy of the Spring allowing us to breathe underwater. Now we need to find out how to find the elemental fiend of wind, whoever this creature may be. We also obtained the Rosetta Stone in the sunken shrine. You have the Rosetta Stone. You must take it to my brother, Une, immediately. Une. I remember hearing of a sage called Une, in Melmond, I believe it was. The Rosetta Stone is a tablet inscribed with ancient writing. Perhaps with this key item, it will illuminate the path that we need to advance forward and find the final elemental fiend of wind. Let's go. Set off in our airship and go towards Melmond. To the west. Look how quickly we can get around the map of this airship. Doesn't that just make things so much easier? Getting access to some powerful spells. Melmond. Still needs fixing, but it was just recently ravaged by the Fiend of Earth, Lich. I believe that Sage's brother Une was in this area. There he is. Just a moment. Let me see that tablet. This is the Rosetta Stone. This makes it possible to decipher Lufenian. Lufenian, you say? Yes, of course. That's what it was. It all makes sense. Here, allow me to express my gratitude by teaching you Lufenian. Time for a language lesson. There. Now you can speak Lufenian too. That was quick. I wish in real life it was that easy. I'd love to speak multiple languages. I'd love to speak them all, really. Ah, well. Now we can speak Lufenian. This gives us a hint where we are supposed to go. If we check out the world map, we can see all the areas we have explored and plundered for treasure. With the exception of the Chaos Shrine, we plundered all the treasure we can find. But we can now speak Lufenian, so go figure. We need to go to Lufenia and flex our lingual skills. You do need to take... Oh, what's this tower here? Interesting. I do remember you need to park up the north here. It's the only way you can land. We'll turn the encounters on. Let's also remember, in the previous episode, or chapter, of Final Fantasy ASMR, we obtained 2 very powerful items. The healing staff for Lucille, which allows us to cast heal an unlimited number of times, as well as a ribbon which protects from all status effects and guards against elemental attacks. If there's any party member I'm going to protect above all others, it's Lucille, because Lucille will be able to revive and cure status effects. If anyone can bring the Warriors of Light back to strength, it's her, with the powers of the White Wizard. And Erebus obtained a Mage's Staff, which allows us to cast Fire an unlimited number of times. Shenwu just needs the Protect Ring to guard against instant death. Besides that, Shenwu's attack is more than enough to suffice. And we also got a Light Axe for Amano, great attack and effective against the undead. And if we want to hit multiple enemies at once, we can cast Diara. We also got the Giant's Gloves that cast Saber when used, a very powerful buffing spell. Let's show off the power of our Warriors of Light on the stroll to Luthenia. So let's go with our solid attack and defense option. Amano will attack, Shenwu will attack. Lucille will use the healing staff to give a little bit of HP back to the whole party, and Erebus can now cast Fire an unlimited number of times. With this setup, we should be able to make quick work of these enemies. Fire, scorch our foes. Look at that. Great amount of experience. Let me check. What's the experience modifier? 1 time. Huh. That just was a lot of experience for that battle. Okay. Now the great thing about this little setup is it is very balanced. So I can use the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster's new feature, Auto Battle, to make this much easier. Now, if I put this on Auto Battle, check out how well it does. Little bit of HP for everyone, 2 enemies down, and damage to the last 2. Victory is ours. Warriors of Light making it look easy now, but they have the strength and the equipment to achieve victory. We'll go a little bit to the south, do a little bit of training. We might need it. Even though they're throwing a lot of enemies at us now, we're well prepared. And with Fire, Erebus mops up the rest of the enemies. How's this for a balanced team? Healing, offensive magic, and 2 raw DPS attackers, damage per second. Now, let's go to Luthenia and flex our new language skills. We are the Luthenians, the descendants of the race that once lived among the clouds, the Sky People. You are a You use a vessel you call an airship. It was built by one of our ancestors, a man by the name of Sid. Sid is a very relevant name in Final Fantasy lore. Every single Final Fantasy game pretty much has a character of significance called Sid. Sometimes Sid is a hero, other times a villain, but it is a recurring name that pops up all throughout the series. But Sid being prevalent even in the first Final Fantasy goes to show that even some of the core ideas of Final Fantasy, even from the very beginning, have stuck for generations to come. We have a legend that has been passed down through many generations. According to this legend, 400 after the fall of the civilization in the sky, warriors bearing light will come forth to save our people. The prophecy must be coming true then. The light bearers, then the legend is true. "400 years ago, we built a civilization of the highest order. Even beyond the skies we reached, however, that is naught but history now. The flying castle floats on a blue sea of stars beyond the sky. The sky people would pass on their memories from one generation to the next through rituals. But 400 years is a very long time, and those memories have begun to fade. Could the mechanical beings our ancestors created still function? This is more than just ancient magic. The sky people were able to construct things, like machines, mechanical creatures. Could they still operate 400 years later? There's only one way to find out. This world is composed of 4 forces: fire, earth, water, and wind. Of these we showed the greatest prowess with the power of wind. High in the sky we set a castle afloat in that azure sea of stars. Sounds like a magnificent civilization. The castle that floats high above the clouds was once the home of our ancestors. The Mirage Tower is the gateway to that castle. Perhaps that's where we need to go. We placed our last hope in the 5 warriors we sent out. It has been said they fell victim to the curse of the fiends and were turned into bats. How unfortunate. Maybe we could save them. We came to believe there was another entity controlling the 4 fiends. To ascertain its location, we sent out 5 warriors, but much time has passed, and we have not heard from them. I hope no harm has befallen them. Tiamat blocks the power of wind, the source of the sky people's strength. Tiamat, you say? That must be the name of the fiend of wind. Tiamat, a name associated in historical folklore and mythology as the Queen of Dragons. Before you leave, legendary warriors, take this chime with you. It will grant you passage into the Mirage Tower. The warriors of light obtain the chime. I remember hearing a story in another village. Someone going into the Mirage Tower and hearing a beautiful sound. Perhaps it was this chime. We struggled for our very lives with Tiamat, the fiend of wind, but our power was not enough. To this day her lair remains in the castle in the sky, the flying fortress. Well, now we know we're going to set off. Away we go to the flying fortress. You know what? If we're going to go all the way to the flying fortress, we need to be prepared. We've got a good amount of gil. Maybe we should make a stop in a shop. In fact, let's go to the Mirage Tower first. There's no guarantee we can access this place even with the chime. We cannot land in the desert. This could be a dangerous place, so we need to look out. Let's go. Turn the encounters on. Free Berettas. They do a lot of damage. Fire. These enemies pack a punch. But they go down, and Amano levels up with more strength, agility, and stamina. We'll use Lucille's white magic, Hilara, to cure the party. Continuing onwards. Since those enemies pack a punch, we'll train here a little bit until the punch that they're punching us with doesn't hurt so much. One more battle and that'll level up Lucille and Erebus. Our mages are very important. Our wizards, I should say. A Tyrannosaur. Looks like a powerful creature. I'm gonna take no chances. I'm gonna cast a death spell. Wow, the strength of Amano and Shenwu was enough to take down even a Tyrannosaurus Rex. A name which translates, just fun fact, Tyrannosaurus Rex stands for Tyrant Lizard King. Pretty cool, huh? Now the Mirage Tower, the first floor. A circular area, but a bunch of treasure in the center. There could be powerful enemies here, so let's make sure we heal up. We don't want to get caught off guard here. Those treasures could be very powerful, so let's make sure we are very careful in what we do. Let's see if our solid setup is going to work well. The free Medusas go down, and so does the Sabertooth. Get a nice amount of experience, but more importantly, a high level of gil. Free Guardians. One of them goes down, see Fire does its magic. Every turn, Lucille gives us all back a little bit of HP. Shenwu's stats go up. Now let's access these treasures. Left by the Sky People. 1300 gil. Take down these free Medusas and Sabertooth. Excellent. The chest contained a healing helm. That's something that Amano can equip. A helm that casts heal when used. So we get a low-level heal spell from this item. Not bad at all, but we'll stick with the defense. We'll leave the healing for Lucille. Still a very nice item to obtain. The chest contained 1810 gil. Excellent. Whenever we leave the Mirage Tower, we should definitely buy some maximum level black and white magic. The chest contained the Vorpal Sword. A very sharp crescent blade. It has an accuracy up to 65%, but it doesn't do as much damage. This is really well used in other character classes. We'll stick with the Light Axe, because it's also very powerful and good against the undead. Good treasures so far, though. I'm liking it. Free Guardians. All right. Excellent. The chest contained an Aegis shield. Excellent. This is what we want for Amano. The Aegis shield gives us the same amount of defense as our diamond shield. However, it also guards against stone and poison, so Amano has less chance of being petrified or poisoned. More protection is always a good thing. And 2750 gil. I'm liking this. And a tent, so we can rest up. We should have done that before we came in here, shouldn't we? Werebeasts. Shenwu's been poisoned. Take him out quickly. Great work, Warriors of Light. Now, to save us on spending a spell cast of magic, let's use the antidote in the overworld. Saves us valuable resources. Now let's look around here. No more treasure maps in this area. Treasure chests, excuse me. 2 chimeras. Cool mythological beings. But the sheer strength of Amano and Shenwu teaming up can obliterate even one of those. $5,000 gil for dispatching both of them. Nicely done, Warriors of Light. See what I mean, though? Being able to auto-battle, heal a little bit, damage everyone, and target an individual with massage damage makes some of these random encounters rather easy once you are prepared enough. We're encountering a lot of the same beasts now. But that's not to say the next floor of the Mirage Tower won't be challenging. The were-tigers are now trying to run away, a sign of our strength. We've come a long way to make it to this Mirage Tower, and the effects of all of our training are really paying off. Now the second floor of the Mirage Tower, another circular area. A blue dragon. Looks like this could be dangerous. Let's see what happens. 80 damage. Heal a little bit of it off with Lucille. Shenwu can take down even the stormy force of a dragon. Two Pyralisks and a King Mummy. We're going to make sure that Amano attacks the King Mummy for bonus damage from the light axe. This minimizes the risk of a Pyralisk hitting us with a status effect or powerful attack. Dispatching these enemies rather well. I'm glad to see that. But now there's even more of them. We don't want them to hit us with that attack, gaze, that can petrify our allies. That's why it's very good that Amano obtained that Aegis shield. It guards against petrification. Petrification is as good as a KO in this game. How beneficial is it, though, that we can cast Fire and heal a bunch of times? Alright, this center line area. There's the stairs up there, but we want to go in this treasure room. There could be something very useful inside. Free Chimera, but it's a preemptive strike. Shenwu and Amano's raw attack makes this much easier. We turn the numbers game. Wonderful. And Lucille and Erebus level up. And the more that those two level up, the more charges we'll get of our most powerful spells. So we're not needing to use them just yet. But when the time comes, we're gonna go wild with them, aren't we? Hope you're enjoying the adventure so far, my friends. Free Guardians. All right. Lots of treasure here. Chest contained 1,300 gil. No, 13,000, excuse me. 12,350. Oh, yes. Ha ha ha. Oh, this is wonderful. Allow me to explain. The chest contained Thor's hammer. Now, this sounds like a pretty cool hammer weapon. I mean, it's named after the Norse mythological god, Thor, or more popularized in the recent Marvel comics as one of the Avengers. Now check this out. Not only does Thor's hammer give Lucille an attack boost, an accuracy boost. I think that's so cool, Lucille just uses a hammer even though they're the healer. The most important fact is this. It can be used to cast Thunderer an unlimited number of times. And there's a bunch of mechanical creatures lurking in the Mirage Tower. Now, both Lucille and Erebus can cast mid-level magic that targets the entire enemy party at the same time. So now we can run a solid build where we try and eliminate all enemies as quickly as possible. We exchange our light heal for another heavy attack. We're gonna have to test it out. Lots of gil. Dragon mail. 10,000 gil. A sunblade. And a cottage. Now it's time to test out this new item. We're going to use the power of Thor's hammer, alternatively known as Mjolnir, and Fyra. Check this out. Even Lucille can damage the entire enemy party now, without having to resort to Diara. They go down in no time at all. Now let's check our goodies we just obtained. Now we have an improvement to our light axe, the Sunblade, a sword that is effective against the undead. So, it's got more attack, it's got more accuracy, and it's great against the undead. It really suits the feeling of a warrior of light. Fantastic. And also, because it's not an axe weapon, the potential of hitting several times in a turn goes up, as it's more accurate. So, I love it. But we also obtained dragon mail. Mail fashioned from dragon scales that guards against fire and ice. Check this out. Besides having tremendous defense, Amano is now protected against stone, poison, fire, and ice. Amano is truly starting to become invincible, really able to tank anything the game can throw at them. They're not quite invincible yet though, but we're getting there. After all, it's all down to how you play the game. Now let's go to the upper floor if we can. Free Chimera. We were ambushed though. Let's see if we can eliminate them immediately with our new setup. The Sunblade dispatches a foe in a single strike. Thunderer does respectable damage. Fyra does respectable damage. Excellent. And because we're using Thor's hammer and the mage's staff, we can save our dedicated spells for when we really need them. Like this situation. The whole party gets a nice heal. So whenever our party starts getting low in HP, we'll swap the Cast Thunderer for a heal spell. 2 casts of blaze. Excellent. What's this? A robot? Some kind of synthetic creature. Our friend left on a journey to the west. He took the warp cube and went to see our master. Their friend went to the west with a warp cube. Looks like something we might need in the future. I'm gonna get Lucille back on healing after this battle. In order to use the healing staff, it needs to be equipped. So every now and then we'll swap Thor's hammer for the healing staff. For that nice balance of, when we feel comfortable in an area, we'll use Thor's hammer to cast Thunderer as many times as we want. Then when we start suffering the effects of low HP, we'll use heal spells, gradually restoring it back to full. But in an emergency, Lucille's white magic can be much more potent whenever she wants. Healaga will pretty much cure the entire party. Witness it. Pretty heavy heal, huh? Oh, wow. This is troublesome. 5 worms and 3 wyverns. Okay. We might need to use another Healaga here. Is it risky to cast Quake, or is it better to cast Thundergar? Let's try it out. Lots of enemies at once, but I think the Warriors of Light can handle it. I have faith in our Warriors of Light. And you, my friends, guiding us. My spirits within, leading us to victory. Thundergar wipes out the entire party of dragons and wyverns. What's this creature? A blue dragon. Let's make quick work of them. They cast Thunderbolt. No, it's not Pikachu, but it's a blue dragon. Now the entire party is capable of dishing out powerful damage for free every turn. Another robot. Use the warp cube to travel beyond the sky. It will take you to the flying fortress. I see. Turn the encounters off for now. So a friend of the robots that have been around for 400 years apparently went to the west and went to see their master. So we can't quite access the Mirage Tower just yet, but we got some very powerful items for our trouble. This should make wherever this place is in the west much easier to navigate. Another robot. Oh no, it's the same one. I just went in a loop. Me getting lost? Huh. Never heard of such a thing. Turning the encounters off makes this so much more enjoyable. I get into battle whenever I decide. So it seems like we're gonna have to go somewhere in the west and figure out where this warp cube is that we need. Before we continue, safety first. Let's make a little quick save. Save complete. And also, rest up. Let's see what ones we've got. You know what, just because it's cozy, let's use a cottage, which has the effects of an inn in the middle of a desert. Rest well, Warriors of Light, and you, my dear friends. Now let's quick save again. Save complete. So we need to go to the west to find whoever the robot's master was. Apparently they hold something known as a warp cube. This will allow us to reach the flying fortress. So if we go west, see what stands out. If it was a robot, it must be working for someone that can operate in secret if no one has disturbed them for generations. Notice how this stands out. I haven't seen any waterfalls since playing this game, as much as I can remember. Huh. It is located to the west. There's a stream here as well. Let's check it out. We've been up this little river many times training. Now check the difference. A bunch of different enemies. But this time we have Thor's hammer. Now Lucille is gonna pack a real punch. Thunder magic against water elemental creatures. Nicely done, Amano, and the rest of the Warriors of Light. Very nicely done. Let's heal up, just take a moment. We'll use a single cast of Curaga on Shenwu. Back to full health. I'm already at full health. Let's see if this waterfall hides a secret. And it does. Waterfall Cavern. There are 6 treasure chests in here. The Mirage Tower has 18 chests. So, it was worthwhile to go here, and hopefully find this warp cube that the robots spoke of. If it's a waterfall cave, there could be lots of water elemental creatures. So, what we'll do is use Thor's hammer, hopefully, for maximum effect. It's a great mix. Undead creatures, meaning they're weak to fire, and Amano's Sunblade. We should be able to go through here with relative ease. Bats. Pyralisks. These enemies can petrify you, but with application of Thunderer and Firer, we take them all out at once. Our training at the Mirage Towers really paid off. Now we can just storm through this place, like a crashing waterfall, in the waterfall cave. Fire magic extremely useful against the undead. It's a big area. Lots of open space. It seems to be the bottom left. That's probably where we need to go. 2 nightmares. Nothing will haunt your nightmares worse than a unicorn. Now think about it. If you played Final Fantasy on the original systems it was released on, you could get very easily lost in this place. But thanks to the map added in this newer release of Final Fantasy, it's a lot easier to navigate. Imagine how easily we could get lost up in this area. And then it's tucked away down at the bottom. We'll just stroll through here, casually destroying our enemies. Excellent work from our Warriors of Light. And we continue to grow stronger and stronger. Lots of undead creatures, so this is good to see. It means they're easy to dispatch. Amano is almost guaranteed to one-hit KO enemies with the Sunblade, but also Erebus can extinguish them with Firer. what I'm gonna do is, this time, I'm gonna cast Holy with Lucille. Then we're gonna cast Firaga. No kill like overkill. We will avenge Shenwu, who's been petrified. A bothersome status effect. Come on, Lucille, Erebus. Get our vengeance. Firaga. Burn them all away. Our foes are defeated, and even though Shenwu's petrified, they are still as counted as being able to achieve experience points. They just can't move around. Not to worry. This is why Lucille is here. To cure you from those status effects. I have been waiting. Take this cube. Tee up, Mott. Flying Fortress. Please. We obtain the War Cube. It's time to head back to the Mirage Tower and see if we can head to the Flying Fortress. Bzz. Thank you, robotic friend. A wizard's staff. A ribbon. Gil. And Defender. Wow. Alright. Where do we start? A wizard's staff. A staff which casts Confuse when used. Now, I personally prefer the Mage's Staff for just raw damage, but if you want to play more tactical, Confuse is a status ailment that when it hits, it can cause the enemies to attack each other, rather than the Warriors of Light. In later Final Fantasy titles, Confuse is one of the most absolutely destructive status effects when used on the player, because you can bump into enemies that you can easily defeat, but when your own party members start fighting each other, that can spell disaster. So, it's good to have this power of confusion on our side. We also obtained another ribbon, which guards against all elemental attacks and status effects. Seeing as Shenwu has been susceptible to them recently, let's give them a ribbon. This is pretty much the optimal build for Shenwu. The Protect Ring will guard them from instant death, and the ribbon against pretty much everything else. Then you don't need armor or even weapons, just a ring and a ribbon. But we also obtained a weapon known as Defender. It's not as powerful as the Sunblade, but still a powerful option. It casts Blink when used, a spell that can buff your character. But we'll stick with the Sunblade. It is a fantastic choice after all. Our build is very powerful at the moment. We got through this area with extreme ease. So we're just gonna flex on it a little bit. Lucille has Holy Magic, and we have Firaga. Just showing the progression of the Warriors of Light and the spells we now possess. However, there are still powerful creatures to be fought in Final Fantasy ASMR. So I think, before we go to the Mirage Tower, we have been assimilating a lot of Gil into our purse. Oh yeah, we got a hell of a lot. I think it's time to go shopping. So, we're gonna stock up in as many high-level spells as we can and healing items. We've definitely got the Gil to spare now. If the encounter's off, this shouldn't take us long at all. We'll go to Onrak first. They had some high-level magic here. Shenwu just looking for an excuse to stare at a dancer's legs. Purity of mind, Shenwu. Nah, I'm not shaming you. Enjoy what you like. The dancer seems to like being stared at. Now, on to more serious things. Now, a mono can buff themselves with the spell Saber, which raises attack and accuracy. We're going to give this to Erebus so that we can buff Shenwu. So Erebus is going to... Amano can cast Saber on themselves with the Giant's Gloves. When we get into a big boss fight, Erebus is going to be able to buff Shenwu. Attack and accuracy is pretty much all Shenwu needs. So we have free... How many spells have we got on level 7? 6 casts. So we can cast Blizzaga for ice damage, Blind to blind an enemy with darkness, or Saber to buff our allies. And then the white magic. Lucille's got this covered. A single target heal in Kuraja, Diaja for undead creatures, and Hilaga to cure the entire party. Null Death is very useful for defending against instant death, but luckily, thanks to well preparation, everyone pretty much has protect rings on. So everyone except Amano is guarded against instant death. Seems like the main thing that could conquer Amano is pretty much instant death. But with the other party members protected, this really gives us good chances in battle. Now we're going to go to one more place before we set off for the Flying Fortress. We're going to go to Gaia. They had some level 8 spells. Is it level 7 or level 8? I believe it's level 8. Level 8 is the most powerful forms of magic, and we now have enough gil to afford them, and the power to wield them. Yeah, 6 casts of the most powerful magic, and we're gradually getting more of the lower spells. We do enjoy that. Now let's see. This first black magic store. Blizzaga and Break. Break is essentially an instant death spell if you want to cast it, because it petrifies foes. So now Erebus on level 7 magic can cast ice damage, potentially one-hit KO enemies with petrification, and buff any of our other allies' attack and accuracy. So level 7 is very well covered. Now let's get into the most potent magic, level 8. We're pretty much reaching almost the apex of our strength in Final Fantasy ASMR. Now, the most dangerous spells. Black magic. We have Kill, Warp, and Stop. Stop stops time and paralyzes all enemies, giving you opportunities to heal, attack, or defend. Warp banishes enemies to another dimension, a multi-targeted instant death spell, and Kill instantly destroys one enemy. So... 2 instant death spells, Kill and Warp. Risky maneuvers to use, but if they can result in instant victory, then it's worth it. We are now going to equip Null All. Very interesting. Null All reduces damage from all spells by half. So, that's going to be a very efficient spell to have. We still have a gap for one more spell. But let's see if we can find it for a start. There is more magic we can learn. Let's get the last few. Waterfall Cave. On rack. Did we miss a magic store? I feel like we did. Did Onrak have another spell that I missed? Black and white magic. Huh. Let's have a look on the map. Excuse me for a moment. Wait a minute. The Lufenians teach black and white magic. I can't believe I missed that. Well, it's a very relevant location for the plot, so it's definitely worth visiting again. We want to have the most raw potential for damage and healing that we can possibly assimilate. This will absolutely maximize our chances of victory in Final Fantasy ASMR. And we can test drive some of our new spells on the way to Lufenia. Hillgigus. So I'm just going to flex a little bit. I'm going to try Warp. Shenru takes out a Hillgigus. Amano takes out one too. Warp was ineffective, but that's part of the luck of instant death spells. They don't always work, because if they did, it would be absolutely broken. With holy magic, Lucille takes out a foe. And the more powerful the Warriors of Light get, the more charges we'll get in these very potent instant death spells and healing. Warp is unlikely to trigger, but it's an instant death spell that attacks the entire enemy party at once, so it could save us in a pinch. You never know. That's how we've missed it. There is a black and white magic shop. Up over here in the corner. The most forbidden magics must be taught here. Yes, here's the final magics we're going to learn in Final Fantasy ASMR. The very potent level 8, Full Life, revives an ally and completely restores their HP. A complete revive. And Flare blasts all enemies with light and heat. Now, check this out. Lucille's most powerful spells, Curaja, which restores one ally's HP practically to full health and cures some status effects. Diaja, which damages undead enemies, and Healaga, which cures the entire party. And for level 8, we have Holy, which damages all enemies with holy light and is very effective against the undead. Null All, which reduces damage from all spells by half for the entire party. And most important, Full Life. We can revive a KO'd party member with full health. Erebus, having mastered black magic, can cast Blizzaga for ice damage, Break to petrify a foe, Saber to buff any of our allies, Kill to have the chance of instantly destroying an enemy, Warp with the potential to banish all your foes to an alternate dimension, and Flare for the ultimate black magic spell for pure raw offense. We are very well set up here, and we've still got a little bit of gil to spare. We don't have an inn in this area. There's no inn in the house. See if we can test out our new spells on the way back to the airship. False Hammer and Flare. Thunderer. Cast Flare. Prepare for the end. Flare is absolutely potent. It does a massive amount of damage. It's very rare to use Flare. So you're only going to use Flare on the most dangerous of battles. but its raw offensive force. Part of the strength of the flare spell is that it is not associated with any element at all. Non-elemental damage is great because you can use it on anything, and that's what makes it so satisfying to use. And when things go south, we can always rely on Lucille for a full heal. Now let's test out our instant death spells. Let's try out Kill. Instantly destroys a foe. Let's try Warp. Banishes our foes to another dimension. How satisfying is that? Now, before we go to the Mirage Tower, we're gonna rest up. We're gonna go buy some items from Cornelia, where it all started. And because Shen Wu is totally wanting to check out the dancer. Seriously, what is it with you? I don't know what else to tell you. How about we have that dance? Maybe at the end of this journey, Shen Wu will have that dance with the dancer. Because you keep hinting at it. Now, let's go buy some items. We're going to purchase high potions, which are just more potent versions of regular potions. So if we need to heal in a pinch in a battle, we've got these. We're going to buy regular potions for healing outside of battle. And then we're going to buy some Ether, which allows us to recharge our magic. Restores 1 MP for each magic level. Phoenix down. In case Lucille gets KO'd for whatever reason, we will still be able to revive our allies. Antidotes? Yeah, can always use those. Eye drops? Sure. Echo Grass, very rare, we will need it, but it's better to have it than not need it at all. Yeah, I think we're all set to go. Let's head off with the Warp Cube back to the Mirage Tower and access the Flying Fortress. We're all set up, hopefully for a confrontation with the Fiend of Wind, Tiamat. We fought the enemies in the desert and the Mirage Tower, so we'll just keep the encounters off. No doubt this Flying Fortress could be guarded by powerful enemies, so we will conserve our strength. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't go to an inn before I left. No worries, we'll use a cottage. In the middle of the desert, a respite from the heat. The good thing about a cottage is you can just use it at any point in the overworld, and it's like resting in an inn. We have 6 casts of Holy, Nolol, and Full Life, Kiraja, Diaja, and Hilaga. But we still have our other very useful spells we can use quite a few times. Yeah. I'm digging this. Now, for real, let's go in the Mirage Tower. We are very well prepared. Let's do this. With the encounters off, let's head up to the 3rd floor, where we were stopped because we could not use the Warp Cube, because we simply did not have it. I hope you're enjoying the adventure so far, my friends. It's drawing closer and closer to a close. Yeah. Thank you for joining me so far on this journey, Amano, Shenwu, Lucille, and Erebus. Really appreciate your company. Now, Warriors of Light, we need to go upstairs and use this Warp Cube. This monster respawns again. Whole party is damaged, but we can dish it right back out. Excellent work. Now, use the Warp Cube to travel beyond the sky It will take you to the Flying Fortress. Alright, the next challenge awaits. The Warp Cube teleports us. Wow. The Flying Fortress. We're in the very skies itself. Different floors to the Flying Fortress, but there's a lot of treasure to be found. 30 free treasure chests. So there's 4 rooms here and an upstairs. Let's turn the encounters on. The chest contained razor. A saber that casts Scourge when used. This is actually very useful if you use it on a red mage, I believe. Is it red mage or a thief that can use this? Because Scourge is an instant death spell, so every turn you have the chance you could destroy the entire enemy party. But the Sunblade is more than enough to suffice for now. The Flying Fortress is going to contain many treasures. Let's make sure we get them all. A Spirit Naga. Make quick work of them. Another Spirit Naga. Our power overwhelming our foes. Gil. And a potion, but we can't hold anymore. Well, let's not waste it. A Death Knight. Nightmare and a Death Knight. Quite a tag team. They cast a spell which removes our beneficial buffs. Luckily the Warriors of Light are able to overcome them. A Death Knight riding a unicorn. Now I've seen it all. Thunderer. These black flans are quite resistant to physical damage, except Shenwu's. But they're weak to fire, and we can cast that an unlimited number of times, so all is good in the hood. Storming through the Flying Fortress. Our raw offensive force is doing very well, so what I'm going to do is, to just make the journey a little bit easier, I'm going to swap Thor's hammer for the healing staff. So now every turn, Lucille's going to give us a little bit of HP back. Gil, another healing helm. A protect ring. Huh. It's good to know we got another protect ring if we ever needed it. Medusa. Amano and Shenwu's raw force is really showing. And it's only getting stronger as we continue to advance. Lucille heals. So we're getting a little bit of HP back for the whole party every turn. So I don't really need to think about it, just a heal for everyone. A Nightmare and a Death Knight. The tag team known as Death Nightmare. Quite a paradox, isn't it? A Dark Knight riding a unicorn. But hey, unicorns are pretty. Nothing else on that floor, so we go up to the second floor. 6 rooms this time, and stairs leading up. Wait a minute, 2, 4, yeah, 6 rooms. Air Elemental and a Spirit Naga. Great job, everyone. See, this is why I've been training and being so tactical with obtaining as many spells and pieces of equipment that will prove vital to the journey. We are conserving as much strength as we possibly can for any big encounters, and trust me, there's going to be quite a few of those in the future. In this chapter, and the next one, of Final Fantasy ASMR, which I fully intend to be the final chapter of Final Fantasy ASMR. And I hope you enjoy as we get closer and closer to the end of this great adventure. Our strength is almost peaking, and I'm glad that you decided to take a peek into our Warriors of Light peaking in their power. You're number one, my friends. Diamond gloves. We have 2 sets of them now. But the Giant's gloves are doing us very well right now. Manticore. Poison darts. One Manticore down. Fire almost takes down the third one, but still, it is solid, reliable damage. Free stone golems. Amano is still able to break through these mighty creatures. They pack a punch, but so do we. Excellent. Spirit Naga. This should be simple. Excellent. A diamond shield. And another ribbon. Excellent. 2 diamond shields. But we also have a ribbon. So, Shenwu's got one, Lucille's got one. Now we're going to give one to Erebus. Amano's only weakness is exposure to certain status effects, but in terms of attack and defense, he's well guarded against pretty much everything. If we can get a 4th ribbon, we're really going to enjoy ourselves, being protected from many status ailments. Now 3 of the Warriors of Light are guarded against elemental attacks and status effects. 1 more ribbon to go, one of the most valuable items in a Final Fantasy game. We heal up. Black Flan. Luckily, Fyra will make quick work of these enemies that are resilient to physical damage. And this is why it's great to have a mix of different character classes. There's nothing stopping you completing Final Fantasy in your own playthrough with 4 warriors, 4 thieves, 4 red mages, whatever combination you like. But I like having a balance. Excellent. A black robe and a white robe. Just when I talk about that, check this out. We're going to replace the diamond armlet for Lucille with the white robe. Yeah, it's got less defense and less evasion, but it guards against fire and instant death, and casts Invisira when used, a spell which buffs the entire party. Having resistance to fire and instant death is great, and it's tailor-made for Lucille, our white wizard. Also, Erebus obtains the black robe, slightly less evasion, a robe that guards against ice and time irregularities, casts Blizzara when used. So now, Erebus, an unlimited amount of times, can use fire or ice magic, and is resistant to ice and time. Let's test it out. Let's see if Blizzara is more powerful. Let's see. Fyra is a level 3 spell, whereas Blizzara is a level 4 spell. It's definitely more powerful, at least in this instance. Nicely done, everyone. 17 out of 33 chests. We still got a lot of loot to go. 2 nightmares and a death knight. Blizzara. sheer cold overwhelms our foes. Now let's get all the treasure we possibly can. I love stealing, I love taking things. Well, it's been left for us by the ancients, so I doubt it classes as stealing. Oh, magnificent. This, you might wonder, what is this stuff? It's very, very important. The Warriors of Light obtain adamantite. What is adamantite? Legendary metal of renowned strength. Remember, when we met the dwarves, one of them said if I could only... In fact, I gotta get the accent back on. If only I had some adamantite, I could make a weapon of legendary steel. So now, we have the adamantite. Adamantite is vital to creating the ultimate weapon in Final Fantasy ASMR. When we come down from the Flying Fortress in the future, we will surely get it used, because the weapon that is born from adamantite is something truly worthy of legend. So, let's remember that for the next chapter, the final chapter of Final Fantasy ASMR. Thank you so much for sticking around this long in the adventure, my friends. I hope you're nice, relaxed, chilled out, and enjoying the Warriors of Light storming through this place. We're making it look easy, but it's far from that. It's just tactics and careful preparation. A bunch of Gil and F Medusas. Powerful raw attacks from Amano and Shenwu, and a Blizzard spell. So Erebus can now attack 2 different elemental weaknesses an unlimited amount of times, fire and ice. Blizzard still does pretty good against the Black Flans, although fire does more potent results. But we get through them nonetheless, and we're making a lot of Gil back for our troubles. Okay, I think we got all the treasure chests in this area. Let's continue on to the next. Shenwu levels up. 500 HP. Look at our humble beginnings, barely scratching 100 HP. Now Amano's getting close to being maxed out, with 716 HP. Now, go down or up? Let's go up. Evil Eye. This was a mini-boss in a previous area. Now check us out. One-shotting them. Makes it look so easy, doesn't it? With enough preparation, you can make the journey as difficult or as troublesome as you want. I'm just gonna make a little quick save here, just to be safe. Midway point through the Flying Fortress, I believe. Save complete. So now, we are on the 3rd floor, I believe. There's a room up there. One on the left, one on the right, and one below. Oh, 2 below. Where's the exit then? Oh, there's a few of these. Let's see if Fire makes a difference compared to Blizzard. Nicely done. Keeping a steady heal going means if we get caught off guard, it mitigates the damage. Might mess around with Thor's hammer for a bit. Let's put the hammer down. Wait a minute, before we open the chest. A dark fighter. Stop. Hammer time. Another protect ring. A potion. 5450 gil. Treasure chests here. Huh. So only 10 chests. Ah, that must be all of them then. A mechanical soldier. And they fall due to Zenwu's power. Rakshasa. Oh, these guys can cast Curaja on themselves. With only one left, they can't escape the fists of fury, Shenwu. It's a robot. From this observation window, you can look out on the entire world. Interesting. The observation window looks out upon the world. The four forces of fire, earth, water, and wind appear as mist converging on a single point. A point at the center of the four altars. This must be the location of the Chaos Shrine. Warriors of Light are correct. Every temple converges on a center point, the Chaos Shrine. Water, wind, fire, and earth. There must be something going on at the Chaos Shrine. Once we defeat the Fiend of Wind, we need to get a look into that. That could be the source of all of this pandemonium. Dispatching these enemies quite handily. Gold Needle, Gil, a Chimera. Should be able to make quick work of this guy. And we do. Gil, close. A Protect Cloak. This is a weird one. The Protect Cloak's actually a piece of armor. It's the only armor, really, that Lucille can wear. A large cloak. Well, Lucille is very valuable as our healer, so we're going to give the Protect Cloak. This is pretty much the optimal build for Lucille. Thor's hammer for attacking, and the healing staff for a quick heal. We are protected from instant death, status effects, and can cast Invisira an unlimited number of times. So, two of our characters are Warriors of Light. Shenwu has pretty much got all the equipment he needs. Lucille has all the equipment she needs. We just gotta get stuff for Erebus. And Amano, if we are fortunate. We'll turn the encounters off, just so we can get this treasure. We're dealing with the enemies quite well. Gold Needle. Sasuke's Blade. No, not the character from a certain anime. Sasuke's Blade is kind of an unfortunate pickup. It's a good thing to obtain. However, Sasuke's Blade can only be used by a certain class of character, and unfortunately, it's specific enough that we can't use it on our current party. It's a small katana used by ninja. It's got great attack and great accuracy. There is a way in Final Fantasy ASMR to obtain a ninja on your team. The thief character promotes into a ninja when you undergo the Trial of Courage with Bahamut. But we chose the white mage into a white wizard, the black mage into a black wizard, and warrior into knight and monk into master. But it's good that you can get equipment for all your certain characters. Now, let's have a look in here. Analyzing Tiamat. No known weakness. Even the machines think the odds are stacked against us. Tiamat must be a powerful creature. No weakness. We've got all the treasure in the Flying Fortress, so let's advance onwards. The fourth floor of the Flying Fortress is a large, sprawling space. A lot of enemies we've faced before. Doing well enough. Excellent work, Warriors of Light. More of the same types of enemies we're encountering. This is where black magic is showing its potency, being able to hit enemies with lesser HP all at the one time, helping whittle down the numbers and therefore potential damage that can be coming our way. Excellent work, team. Since we're bumping into a lot of the same enemies, I need to give a word of warning about this next place. As we teleport to the top floor. Now, this area seems very unassuming, but look ahead on the map. The Wind Crystal. Now, genuinely, I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm going to make a little quick save for a reason. You see, I'm going to cast Hilara and cure our party. There is a certain enemy. We will save our progress here. This bridge is very unassuming. There is a potential enemy that can spawn only on this bridge. It has a very low chance of being encountered. It's just a straightforward trip, potentially to Tiamat, or at the very least the Wind Crystal. But you know, if this creature that I'm speaking of in very elusive and secretive terms spawns, grit's gonna hit the pan. So, make sure we're completely ready. Alright, let's go. A careful journey across this small, unassuming bridge in the sky. Two Neo-Chews. Okay, we can handle that. Any Final Fantasy players who've played this game before probably know what I'm referring to. I'm just letting you know there is the potential that things could change very drastically on our path to the Wind Crystal. We made it. Whew. Well, what I will say before we unlock the Wind Crystal and restore it to grace. In the final chapter of Final Fantasy ASMR, I'm going to show you which unbelievably powerful creature resides on this bridge. But for now, let us restore the Wind Crystal to grace. The Lich, Marilith, the Kraken. You have defeated 3 fiends and reached my lofty perch. The Fiend of Wind. All the better. May the image of Tiamat, the Fiend of Wind, be the last to burn in your eyes. The final elemental fiend. Let's finish this Final Fantasy. Boss encounter. Tiamat, Queen of all dragons. Multi-headed. First of all, we're going to buff ourselves with the Giant's Gloves. Amano will cast Saber on themselves. Shenwu will attack. Next, we're going to cast... We're going to cast Null All. Unfortunately, Null All doesn't apply to the entire party, so let's protect the whole party first, and then work our way towards this. Huh. Okay, we'll cast Saber. We can only cast it on ourselves. Ah, I was incorrect. I thought we could cast Saber on other party members. That's fine, though. We can cast Haste on Shenwu. Amano casts Saber on themselves, boosting their attack and accuracy. Lucille will shield the party from physical damage. And Erebus's black magic will increase the number of attacks that Shenwu can dish out. Next, going to cast Null All on Lucille to boost her defenses. Next, we will cast Haste on Amano. Thanks to the ribbon that we have equipped. Ah, so we don't need to cast Null All on Lucille. This explains a lot. We'll defend for now. The one party member that does not have a ribbon equipped is Amano, so Null All will be applied to Amano. Next, let's start using our most potent and powerful magics. Now is a greater time than any. We will cast Flare. Null All shields Amano from magical damage. Flare, bring ruin to Tiamat. Next, it's time to restore our HP. An X potion. Next, Healara on the whole party. What else can we do? Cast another spell of Flare. X potion heals Erebus. We're protecting ourselves from physical and magical damage. Flare does a great amount of damage. Now it's time to attack. Right, what can we do here? Gonna use the white robe to cast Invisira, which will boost our evasion. With a combination of defense and evasion, we might just make this. Cast another Flare on Tiamat. Ice Storm. Our elemental resistances are up. Amano and Shenwu are boosted. And Flare brings destruction. Even the mighty power of Tiamat wasn't able to bring our Warriors of Light down, thanks to the combination of light and darkness intertwined, bringing chaos to Tiamat, Queen of all dragons. The power of the Warriors of Light has conquered the Fiend of Earth, Lich, the Fiend of Fire, Maralith, the Fiend of Water, Kraken, and finally, the Queen of all dragons and Fiend of Wind, Tiamat. The Warriors of Light have come very far on this journey. I'm so proud of them. Now, the final crystal must be restored to grace. Go, Warriors of Light. We have achieved our objective. Victory is ours. This is the altar of wind from which the power of wind flows forth. But things are not as they seem. We saw from the observation window that something was amiss in the Chaos Shrine. All signs point to the Chaos Shrine. It's the only place in the game that has treasure chests left that we have not accessed. Every other place in the world has been plundered. There's only a handful of things left to do in Final Fantasy ASMR. And I think we'll leave that for the next chapter. So for now, let's leave the Flying Fortress. Our main objective is complete, but the journey is far from over. We're gonna go rest up before we go into the next chapter of Final Fantasy ASMR, as this one draws to a close. We're gonna go back to Cornelia, where it all started, and I wish every single one of you has enjoyed this Final Fantasy ASMR entertainment series. We're gonna go rest up. Our characters are so powerful, even since they began. And it's really satisfying to enjoy this classic legendary title with every single one of you. The 4 elemental fiends are gone, but something may be controlling them behind the scenes, manipulating them from the shadows, and it all seems to point to the Chaos Shrine. Before we do that, we need to make preparations and training for the true final battle of Final Fantasy ASMR. I hope you enjoy when that final chapter is released, and thank you for watching this journey. As we draw close to this chapter of a great adventure, I only hope you, no matter who you are or where you have a wonderful time. Myself, Alakazam ASMR, Amano, our knight, Shenwu, our master, Lucille, our white wizard, and Erebus. Hope you get some nice rest and have a wonderful time. Take care, my friends. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. We are just about to approach the final chapter of Final Fantasy ASMR. Thank you for joining us in this journey. Take care, my friends, and I'll see you soon, warriors of light. Rest easy.